Good morning, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to News in Motion. Today is March 8th, 2023. We are in the middle of the week. It is Wednesday. As you're coming into the room with your breakfast, coffee, smoothie, whatnot, let us know where you're tuning in from, whether it's through YouTube, LinkedIn, or if you're still on Facebook. Shout out to also the audio and podcast listeners as well. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you are watching the replay, good afternoon, good evening to you, whatever time of day you're tuning in from. So with that being said, let's get this news in motion, y'all.
What's up, everyone? This is Gail Dudley, and as Isaiah said, it is time for News in Motion. I am your host. Today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, March the 8th, everyone, and this is also International Women's Day. So shout out to every woman. Shout out to you and the work that you are doing. We just want to say a big shout out. So, of course, whether you're tuning in from YouTube or LinkedIn or on Facebook, if you have an opportunity to put your business, something that you're doing, a hobby, whatever, women, go ahead and fill up the chat with that, and I'll call out as many as I can. I see you, Deborah Johnson. I see you, Shirley Nicholson, coming in from YouTube. I see you, Marion Jackson. I see you, Lori Wallace. You all, there's other names popping up. I see my brother coming in here. I see Fred Jones in here. I see Kim Edmondson coming in from YouTube. She said, I'm going to be a YouTube fan. Let's see. Tracy knew me. And Tracy, please know that we're praying for you. I've been reading your post. Thank you, Deborah Johnson. Look, it's International Women's Day. Well, thank you, Lori Wallace. Let's see. Kim Edmondson says, shout out to all the wonderful women tuning in. Shardinia, good morning to you. I see you, Jeffrey Allen James. I see you all rolling up in here. Do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that share button. Hit that like, the heart as many times as you can so that we can get our algorithm going. And if you're wondering, yep, that's what it is. Straight fire. That's the mug that everyone's talking about. People are getting it. So I decided to pull mine out today. So straight fire. I see you, Deborah Sneed. I see you, Pastor Alex Williams. You are welcome, Tracy. You are welcome. We have a lot of news today. I see Stephanie Burbridge Hall rolling up in here as well. We have a lot to talk about today. So I'm not going to take too long to get to that point. Good morning, Rosie Lee, coming in from YouTube as well. Come on in here, YouTubers. I love it. I love it. Yes, y'all, we're going to start making that pivot to YouTube come May when we return after our break in April. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. I see you, Tracy Burrs. Good morning. So yes, y'all, this is the straight fire mug. It goes all the way around. And underneath it says News in Motion. I see you, Jacqueline. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right. Oh, that's Rosanna. Okay, on YouTube. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The earrings, these earrings came from none other than Latrice Jones with Paparazzi Jewelry. So if y'all like these earrings, that's where they came from. I see you, Toni Morrison Smith. Hello. I see you, Kelly Lee. Good morning. I see you, Hester. Good morning. All right, y'all. It's International Women's Day again. For International Women's Day being March the 8th, I want all the women to fill up the chat with whatever it is that you're doing, you're selling, your business, your services, whatnot. Go ahead and do that. You have that platform today. Have another book for y'all. Have another book. This is a fun book, actually. This is called Sister Betty, God's Calling You Again. And this is by Pat George Walker. Just something fun to read. A friend of mine gave me this book when my husband was pastoring in Oberlin, Sanchin, and she tunes in every now and then as well. But this book is a great book if you just want to laugh, have a good time, sitting back on a rainy day or sunny day or whatnot, this is a good book. So again, we're promoting women all this month during Women's History Month. So make sure you pick that copy up. All right, y'all, let's get started with the news. There's a lot of news. All right, y'all. Yep, there's Latrice Jones. So that's where I got him from, Dr. Antoinette Latrice Jones. So, okay, let's see. Dr. Antoinette says, Happy International Women's Day, sisters. Be your fabulous self. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Good morning, Latrice Jones. I see you, Adrienne, coming in from YouTube as well. I see y'all liking this YouTube. I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. USA Today's report. If y'all remember yesterday, I talked about the 4 individuals who were kidnapped in crossing the Mexico border. Well, we have since learned that 2 of them have been shot and killed, murdered, let's say it that way. And the 2 others are back in the States at the hospitals being checked out. One was critically injured as well. Danita, good morning to you. So the question here I want to raise is, and this is something that USA Today covered, and they covered it well. Why do Americans cross the border for any type of health or dental or cosmetic surgery or whatnot? Y'all, USA Today unveils that 1.2 million people in the US travel to Mexico for medical, dental, and other healthcare services each year. And this was before COVID-19. This is from Jeff Woodman, CEO of Chapel Hill, North Carolina based Patients Beyond Borders, citing other consultants' estimates. Now, Jeff Woodman also estimates that U.S. residents getting medical care in Mexico can save 40 to 60% off the cost of similar procedures or operations or prescriptions than what we see in the U.S. hospitals or clinics. Now, he gives a quote: People in the United States need access to cost-effective medical care and for prescription drugs that the U.S. has priced itself out of the market. I see you, Mike Nicholson. I see you, Rodessa. Good morning to both of you. Y'all, that's true. That's true. Y'all know we share here and we post things in the chat. I will say, as someone who has some pretty darn good insurance, there's a prescription that I need that costs $1,108, and that's after the insurance portion is paid. So what do I do? Go without the insurance, go without the prescription, which is not good. So we have to start talking about this, and it's coming right back to our voting. We have to start holding our representatives accountable, especially when they stand on their platform and say that they're going to reduce prescription costs, they're going to reduce certain things. Now, we know that insulin has been reduced down to $35. We know that. That's a part of the infrastructure bill. We know that's happened. No, I'm sorry, the Inflation Act piece that Biden signed. So we know that's possible. Latrice Joe says, I'll be interested in learning the demographics of people that cross the border for medical care. We know that there are disparities in healthcare. Absolutely. And in this piece by USA Today, Latrice, and this it's online for them today. If you go into that and dig into and pull out some of the bills, it is that it's all about greed. It's all about lining the pockets. So if an insurance company is not going to pay it, they're crossing the border. For example, looking for what I need. My doctor said, "Oh, check the Canadian pharmacies." What? Huh? Do what? Now you'll still need a script, and I'll write the script and send it. Some people said, "Go to Puerto Rico." So you just want to get on a plane, go to Puerto Rico, and yeah, it's like a grocery store. You just go in there and get what you need. You don't even need a prescription. Go to Mexico City, same thing. So we're hearing this. Go to Cabo. We're hearing this over and over and over again. So the question is, if they know that we're leaving to cross over to get procedures or medical prescriptions, why can't they just lower the cost? Because of greed. That's the reason why. Marian says pharmaceutical companies are making money at the expense of the patient in need of the medication. One thing that I'm hearing over and over and over again is to allow food to become your medicine, which means we have to also change the way we eat. I see you, Kenny Stanley, coming in here, and Regina. Jeff James said, I froze on Facebook. Y'all have no idea what that is or why that's happening, but I see you went on over to YouTube. Dr. Antoinette said, one of my heart meds after insurance, but before the cost savings website was $300 a month. That's the cost of one of the four that I take daily. That's a darn shame. So, y'all, that's another place that we can create a platform to to send to some of our representatives to say, okay, we need to combat this. We need to deal with this. We are outpricing ourselves, and your own constituents are going outside across the border to get what they need, risking their lives and in danger. So I see you, Danielle, coming in here as well. So, y'all, CNN report as of last Monday, the U.S. have surpassed 100 mass shootings in 2023. Over 100. There are about 120 guns for every 100 Americans, according to a Switzerland based small arms survey. No other nation has more civilian guns than people in the US. About 44% of US adults live in a household with a gun, and about one third own one personally, according to a November 2020 Gallup survey. We will not break down all the locations, so I will ask Isaiah to put that link. You can go to CNN.com. He's going to put that link in the chat. What's up, Molly Moses? She says, yes, food for medicine. Some Eastern cultures have it right. I agree with that. And it's too bad it took me a long time to start hearing that and actually putting that into practice. So we have the fact that we have Americans risking their lives crossing the border. We've now hit 100 mass shootings. Well, USA Today is now reporting about Governor Ron DeSantis and how he opened the 2020 legislative session on yesterday. He did so by declaring that while he has pushed Florida into a controversial conservative ground over the past 4 years, he is determined to shift the state even further right in coming weeks. Here's a quote. He says, we find ourselves in Florida on the front lines in the battle for freedom. This is about a 30-minute speech that he's really giving some nuggets that we need to pay attention to. He goes on to say in a quote, together we have made Florida the nation's most desired destination, and we have produced historic results. He doesn't end there. The last couple of sentences in his speech are the following. Now is not the time to rest our laurels. We have the opportunity and indeed the responsibility to swing for the fences. He goes on and tells his Republican controlled legislator, don't worry about shattering the glass. I can promise you this. You ain't, and this is a direct quote, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's how he ended his speech. We must respond. Latrice Jones said, what Florida is he talking about? Mike Nicholson says there are entities set up to travel trips to go to Canada to purchase prescriptions, etc. Yeah. Yes, Latrice Jones. Yes. Dr. Antoinette says, can we have 1 week without DeSantis or 45 needing attention? Just 1 week. Go to therapy. So this was also, people believe his speech before coming out saying he's going to run for president of the United States. However, that speech and what's happening and the bills that have passed will make a big difference for the rest of the states as well. So we go from Ron DeSantis. So I want y'all to follow this. I started out talking about the 4 individuals who were kidnapped, risking their lives across the border. Although, and I read to you all yesterday, the United States Department of Transportation's warning, telling Americans not to travel to Mexico at this time because of the high violence, kidnapping, murders and so forth that's going on there. I went from there to America having 100, I have reached 100 mass shootings as of Monday, which was March the 6th, which breaks a record for the most mass shootings from the first of the year to that time point. Then I talked about Ron DeSantis and his rhetoric. I want y'all to follow this here. Now I'm going to talk about Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, this is out of HuffPost. He went on in a text message that has been revealed from January the 4th, 2021, to an unnamed recipient, according to legal documents in the $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit filed against Fox News by Dominion Voting Systems. He says this about the former guy. He says, "I hate him passionately." Really? Then explain to us why you then cut and paste and sliced up and edited the footage from January the 6th, making it seem as if there was no insurrection at all. But I can say thank you to Minority Leader Senator Mitch McConnell, who called it BS. I won't say the word here. He goes, Senator McConnell says he rebukes the Fox News commentator, Tucker Carlson. He said that he have actually tainted the GOP's favorite cable network by making a mistake in showing selective edited footage from the riot. He goes on to say, "I was there. I know what happened." Furthermore, he does defend the Capitol Police Chief Chom manager, who also called Tucker Carlson's program misleading and offensive. So all of this is coming out. Even Mitch McConnell called it absurd. A lot of this is coming out. So I want y'all to see where we're going this morning and how we're pulling this all together, because I'm not done. NPR reports that the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, a federal agency, said it was suing ExxonMobil after several nooses were discovered at the company's complex in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The EEOC said Exxon failed to take action after a Black employee discovered a noose at his workstation at the chemical plant in January 2020. And at that time, it was the fourth noose uncovered at the Baton Rouge site, and a fifth was found at the end of 2020. ExxonMobil allegedly investigated some, but not all of the prior incidents, and failed to take measures reasonably calculated to end the harassment by white employees towards Black employees, which resulted in a racially hostile work environment. According to the EEOC statement on Thursday, this past Thursday, ExxonMobil's lack of action, the federal agency alleges, was a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Yes, Latrice Jones, yes. So even from that, when you dig into that, some of the rhetoric that's coming back is from the former guy being their president, and that they had a right to do this, that it was a new day, a new season, we can go forward. But ExxonMobil did not deal with it. So we have that. And if that's not enough today on this Wednesday, which is also International Women's Day, right? I wonder if the friendly skies are behind us. NPR also reports that a man was arrested Sunday, I'm sure you've seen this by now, in Massachusetts for allegedly attempting to stab a flight attendant with a broken metal spoon after trying to open the emergency exit door on a trip to Boston, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for Massachusetts. Francisco Torres, age 33, is being charged with one count of interference and attempted interference with flight crew members in attendance using a dangerous weapon. So let's stop right there for a moment. Here's the first question. How did you get past TSA with a broken metal spoon with a jagged edge? How did you get through TSA? That's the first question. The second question, which is very concerning to me, one of the flight attendants who confronted Torres allegedly asked if there were cameras that could confirm the allegations shortly after this flight attendant thought he was messing with the door. Now, this is after everything happened. Why did it take you so long to ask the question? to say, I thought I saw him messing with the door. There was also a passenger who said he asked, "Where's the card that shows how to operate the door? Why are you asking these questions?" But hats off to everyone who jumped up to help to subdue him, to take him down until they were able to land. But if you watch that video, and I don't know if you've seen the whole video, it's out there. If you watch the video, he's standing up and he's saying they're going to have to shoot this plane down. It's going to be a bloodbath. Those were his words in that video. And people are just sitting there, and I'm thinking, shouldn't that alert you to something was about to happen? These are questions. Yeah, Kim Edmondson asked these are the questions that we have to ask. So here's the challenge that I want to submit to all of us today. There's a lot that's going on, and we watch it, we hear about it, and we go on about our day. Well, no, this is where we have an opportunity. Again, we vote these people into office, okay? We're paying our taxes, okay? So we should be writing letters saying, okay, so what are we doing? Who's going to investigate TSA? Write a letter to your representative. I've been watching this. This is what how I understand this all shook out. So, will there be a hearing with the TSA director before Congress? Are you going to ask these questions? Are you going to ask, because I did my reporting, y'all know I'm a researcher. Do y'all know how many guns and knives were found at TSA and confiscated in 2022? I want y'all to look that up. We're going to talk about that next week. I want y'all to look that up. Too many. Let's be honest, one is too many, but way too many. We're talking hundreds, okay? But I want y'all to look it up to find the actual number. That was in 2022. So, what are we doing to make sure that the airlines and airports are safe, and that the people are safe, and that somebody, should there be some vetting system now sitting next to the exit row? Should we say, okay, it's not that you pay more for this seat, and it's not that you can operate the door, but do you have the mental capacity to be sitting next to this door that you can open and take down the plane? Should we not raise those questions as well? If that's not enough for y'all, ABC 15 News report, and this is Women's History Month. This is International Women's Day. WPDE, a new bill introduced in South Carolina State House, could put the death penalty on the table for women who get an abortion. House Bill 3549 is an amendment to the South Carolina Prenatal Equal Protection Act of 2023 and would define a person to include an unborn child at the stage of development. I'm just giving y'all news here. This would ensure that an unborn child who is a victim of homicide or a victim of assault is given the same protection under state law, including up to the death penalty. If the bill passes, the only way someone could have an abortion in the state would be as if she faces a threat of immediate danger, death, or seriously bodily danger. A woman would then, get this piece, y'all, that woman would have to testify in front of a jury, her peers, and select community leaders to prove her case. So you're going to put her on public display. I recall, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I think all of y'all want to hear read the Bible. I recall when Jesus bent down and started writing, in the dirt, and one by one, everybody turned away. And then he looked up and told the woman, go, and said no more. And I'm not saying I'm just giving y'all news here. But y'all recall that? They want her to come and testify to prove her case in front of a jury, her peers, and community leaders. Who does that? Seriously, this is International Women's Day. This is Women's History Month, and this is what we're doing. A spokesperson for Planned Parenthood's Atlantic region, Vicki Ringer, said this bill concerns her. She goes on to say this one is particularly concerning because it would impose the death penalty on women who have an abortion. It removes all exceptions, including rape, fetal anatomy, and even the health of a pregnant person. So this bill 3539 is currently in the Judiciary Committee and has not been returned yet to the House. This is what's happening, y'all. And if that's not enough for Wednesday, have y'all got, are you tired yet? If that's not enough, y'all, Houston Chronicle reports, and this is out there. I'm sure you've seen this by now as well. 5 women sue Texas, saying an abortion ban put themselves or their fetuses at risk. Y'all, and I'm pulling these out today as I'm wrapping up the news this morning because it is International Women's Day and it is Women's History Month. But these are the subjects, the topics that are before us on the table today. Before I go into that, let me see what some of you are saying. Lori Wallace says you have to always be aware of your surroundings, not just what they do, but what they say. Mike Nicholson is talking to Tracy Newman. Shirley saying I went through TSA twice with loaded gun. Well, you're also a retired police officer, so I'm sure you had your badge or something with you. Dr. Antoinette says, but we can't have bobby pins in our hair. That's true. Let's talk about that, how they will pat us down in our hair with braids or extensions or whatnot. That is true. Kim Edmondson says, she's asking Shirley, did they let her through? Marion says he has not sinned, cast the first stone. There's that. Mike Nicholson, look, they're trying to take all of us back. Black people, women, y'all better vote out these patriarchs. Kim Edmondson, there's too much going on, way too much. Way too much. And I didn't grab all of them. And I love the conversation that we can have here with the chat, which this is a feature I want us to continue to have because these are the questions we need to be asking. This is the type of research we need to be conducting. So Houston Chronicle, I'm sure you've seen this already. 5 women sue Texas saying an abortion ban put themselves or their fetuses at risk. Here's a quote. She nearly lost her life. This is a plaintiff detailed their secret travels out of the state. Here we go again, crossing the border, crossing the state, out of the state to seek medical treatment for complication. 5 women who say they were denied abortions despite having dangerous pregnancies are suing Texas, claiming that under the state's new abortion law ban and the millions of others who could face similar situations have been denied dignified treatment as equal human beings. This lawsuit was filed on this past Monday and is backed by the Center for Reproductive Rights. It appears to be the first time pregnant women themselves have taken legal action against the elected lawmakers of Texas and at least 12 other states since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in June. What's going to happen? We're going to see more and more and more and more of this. I'm not going to take the time to read some of the stories, but if y'all would read the stories, you would be in tears as I was on yesterday. The stories are horrific. The stories, they gave every detail to their stories. The one outlet who gave probably the most graphic details was the New York Times. So check that out, each story there. Check that out. So, so many young people are turning away from Facebook because they're wanting their voices to be heard. They don't want to be silenced, and they're bringing facts like here at NewsInMotion. Well, New York Times is reporting younger social media users have begun complaining that their Instagram posts have started appearing on their Facebook pages, although they turned that feature off. And they said they're getting alerted by their friends and family and others. And they believe that Facebook is intentionally doing it to try to get more younger users back on Facebook. So they're protesting, they're ready to jump ship. The prompt, as you know, if you're on Instagram, there's a prompt to say, do you want to share it? We do it through NewsInMotion. I take it from my page and I share it to the NewsInMotion page on Facebook. Not every post do I share. Sometimes I turn that feature off. Well, the young people, Washington Post is talking about the young people are saying, no, and we're not doing that. Well, Mike Nicholson hit me up this morning, and it is true. I have been waiting for it to come through, and I want to read the bill itself. I have not done that. But senators have been working behind the scenes as they have unveiled a bipartisan bill to ban TikTok and other services. And that's coming from CNN. So I'm just putting that out there. I don't have all the information yet. I want to read the bill itself to be able to speak on that topic. But we've been talking about it, and Mike Nicholson has been very key to saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and it's going to get banned. He's been talking about that. So I cannot wait to read that bill to see more about it. So they're trying to force these young people back to Facebook when they're saying, I don't want to be on Facebook because you have silenced me. So I've gone elsewhere trying to get my message out. And that's why people are on TikTok and on Snapchat because they're wanting to get their message out. There was a young woman, I'm not for sure if you are aware of her. There was a young woman whose mother was dying. She happened to be at the airport trying to make it to California, and she was talking with the nurses. They said, she's not going to make it. You're not going to make it here to see her before she goes, but we still have her on life support. Well, the daughter said, no, take her off life support. The daughter then collapsed in the middle of the Denver airport. There was, she said, people walked by her and she is sobbing. There was a woman and a daughter and her daughter who came and hugged her, prayed with her, and she's now looking for that mother and that daughter who helped her get on the plane, and they happened to be on the same flight that she was on, and they were helping her get off the plane. And she said that they pretty much were like angels that saved her. She went to TikTok, and she is very close to finding them. There are people who are saying we think we know who you're speaking of. We heard this story, but she did that on TikTok to get that message out, where other platforms was trying to silence her. So that's why we have diversity of platforms that we can use. Well, on top of all of that, people are also using things like Twitter to go a different direction. So on Twitter, there's a lot of chat, and I'm just going to be straight petty right now because I'm coming to an end of the news. But let's start with will they, won't they? Y'all, Harry and Meghan have been invited to the coronation by King Charles. The question is, will they accept the invitation? Well, right now we don't know. And on Twitter, especially Black Twitter, they are going in. They are saying, no, don't go. They're going to kidnap you. They're going to keep you. Don't do it. They're telling Meghan, especially, say, Harry, you can go. But Meghan, be aware that he may not make it back because they're going to keep him there in the UK. They're going to take away his passport, his visa, whatnot. So it's just good to go to Twitter to get some sort of relief to see what they're doing. So just check it out on Black Twitter. Y'all, Prince Harry and Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, have received an invitation to the coronation, by King Charles III. But the couple has yet to confirm if they will attend. The Duke's spokesperson told CNN on Sunday. He says, I can confirm the Duke has received an email correspondence from the Majesty's office regarding the coronation. An immediate decision on whether the Duke and Duchess will attend will not be disclosed by us at this time. Y'all, King Charles and his wife, Queen Consort Camilla, will be crowned on May 6th at Westminster Abbey. So that's going to be real interesting. All right, y'all. Remember when Instagram and Facebook were out? I mean, they were out. They were down a couple years ago on the social media platform, and the only social media platform that was working was Twitter. Well, based on CNN business reports, first time ever with Elon Musk taking over Twitter, the users had no accessibility on Monday. They said they couldn't see photos, clicking links and apps weren't working. They weren't able to scroll up their feed, none of that. So people are wondering what went on. Is it that he cut too many jobs? And what's next? So I gave a whole lot of news. I want to hear what your thoughts are. Isaiah says young people don't want to be on Facebook because their parents are on there. Okay, that's true. Um, Mike Nicholson said, I've been using Post. I've been using Post News as well. It's in a beta state right now. You can try to get on, or one of us, I'm on, Mike's on. I think there's a couple others that are on. You can ask us to invite you in and we can do it. You can get through that way. Their app is a little wonky. You still have to use the internet, the website to get there. So I'm sure they're going to be working that out. the parents on Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat doing the dances with them. Yeah, y'all can't hide. Y'all can't hide from us. We're there too. Dr. Antoinette said he has he booked a musical act yet? Who are you talking about? Uh, Kim Edmondson says his daddy didn't call to invite him. They sent him an email. Now, the official invitation, which I guess is like a booklet and it opens up, it's supposed to be real unique. They're supposed to come out, but I'm sure they wanted to know first. Are you coming before we spend this money on you all? I'm sure that's what that is. Um, let's see. Latrice Jones just got the eyeballs coming. So that's what's happening, y'all, in the news. That's what's happening in this news. So it's been a long week with news, y'all. Long week before I get to the inspirational message. And I want y'all to tell us in the chat. I want to hear back from you in the chat. It's been a long week with news. Good morning, Jimmy. Good morning to you. It's been a long week in the news. Do y'all really want to hear from us tomorrow? Or y'all want to wait till Monday? We want to do a poll here. Isaiah and I were talking about this early. Just put it in the chat whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. Have y'all heard enough from us this week, or do y'all want us back tomorrow? Let's see. So fill up the chat. Fill up the chat. Either say take the break. We'll see you Monday, or say we want to see you tomorrow. We're gonna let y'all decide this today. So go ahead, fill up the chat. Fill up the chat. Now, as you're doing that, we're going to do an inspirational message. And we're going to do Mike Nicholson says, we're on here, aren't we? Kim Edmondson says, please come back tomorrow. Mike Nicholson says, see you tomorrow. Tracy says, see you tomorrow. Adrian says, tomorrow. Well, I guess that answers that because y'all are flying up in here with tomorrow. Marion Jackson, see you tomorrow. Hey, Isaiah, come on in here for a moment. What do you think about this? Dr. Monica Lowe says, LinkedIn, see you tomorrow. Robert Holman says, we want to see you tomorrow. What you got to say about this, Isaiah?
People like the news.
Hey, they like it. They like it. Deborah Sneed says tomorrow. Mike Nicholson says, Gail trying to be flake on us. Look, you just heard everything I read. It takes everything out of us putting this together.
We tired,
Regina
y'all.
Short says tomorrow, but if you need a break, take it. Regina's the only one that's showing some love. Sardinia says tomorrow. I didn't mean to cut you off, Isaiah. What were you saying?
I was just saying we tired, but everybody's saying tomorrow.
We will be back tomorrow. We will be back. Shirley Nicholson says, what you talking about, Gail, in my Gary Coleman voice? All right, we'll be back. All right, so since y'all want us to come back, I need all of y'all to go to the website and buy this mug, Straight Fire. Let us know how much you really want us to come back. No, I'm just joking. Oh. But you can find this at gaildudley.com. You can and go to shop. I'm calling you Dr. Alex Williams now. He said, I may need you to bring on a therapist tomorrow. Listen, with all that we just shared, I don't disagree with you, Pastor Alex. I do not disagree with you. Seriously, y'all, real story. Now, this could be your inspirational message. You can stay on, Isaiah, do whatever you want to. Okay. Isaiah's like, I'm gonna stay right here, then cool.
I'm just going with the flow.
That's what we do here. But listen, Pastor Alex, yesterday I was doing the news in segments, and every news piece that was coming forward, I was like, what? Like, what is this? Is this really happening? I started looking at the number 1.2 million people who crossed the border for healthcare or medication or dental. I'm like, really? This many people cross the border because it's 40 to 60% cheaper? What's wrong with America? I have asked that question. Then I was looking at the mass shootings, and I did not. The link is in there. Isaiah shared it. When you all go through all the mass shootings so far from 2023, you will become nauseated. I promise you. When they detail the shootings, when they detail what happened, what took place, it'll make you pause. When I read, I gave y'all, and remember, this is a 30-minute show, although we've been pushing 40, 45. Remember, I give you all, 3 to 4 sentences, depending upon the story, of highlights. When you open up those news alerts, and the news alerts are more detailed than what you actually end up seeing in the actual article. You're looking at these things saying, is this really happening? When I read the piece from Governor Ron DeSantis, you ain't seen nothing yet, which he was playing on the word ain't. Don't miss that, y'all. He was shooting that towards somebody, us. Okay, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. He doesn't talk like that. So that was a direct dig. So even reading his full speech, the transcript, I'm thinking, wow, if we don't vote. So then I have this urgency to get people to vote. And then I get angry. I'm going to be honest, angry at times before I get down to disappointment. I get angry because people say, oh, my voice doesn't matter. Your voice does matter. Look how we held the line in November 2022. It matters. It matters a lot. That's why they're not trying to take off George Santos, Anthony DeVoyer, from the House because their majority is too slim. Now they're going after Kevin McCarthy, his own people, and Isaiah, jump in here, his own people, because he sent those tapes to Tucker Carlson, who doctored them, who edited them, and Mitch McConnell's minority leader saying, "I was there. This happened, and this is BS. This is absurd." Jump in here, Isaiah. Give your take as well.
I was at this point, what all can we really say? They're trying to erase our history. They're trying to use our own slang like against us, and don't even sound right when they say it. Everybody trying to be like us, for real. Everybody wants to be like us because the way we're resilient. This is this proof because this when I talked about being shadow man, we're still here. We still pulling consistent numbers. We're not changing who we are, but yet, they're still going to try to censor us. They're still going to try to put our content down at the bottom of the page. Everybody wants to be like us. And quite frankly, I really don't blame them. And I've always heard my dad say, this. I don't know if he's still watching, but if he had to do it all over again, if he had to do life all over again, he wouldn't change the color of his skin. He wouldn't change his race. Neither would I, because
Neither.
of the power that we have, the
Yeah.
power, the lineage, the leaders, the culture, the fashion, the hairstyle, everything that we do, we do it with elegance. We do it with power. We command respect every time we walk into a room, y'all. So I'm proud to be Black. I know Black History was there. They say Black History is February, but like Miss Gail Dudley said, I'm Black 365 days of the year. 24/7.
Right.
I'm blackity black. Come on now.
You sound like your mama now. Yep. And I agree with that, Mike Nicholson. That's why we need to bring back gospel music, even hymns. I was driving the other day, and I know some of you have to run, but some of y'all like to hang on with us because then we just go off script and just go live, real straight real. We already real and authentic, but then we go all the way real. I was driving yesterday and I was listening to, I don't know, some streaming music. And I was like, we sing this in church? I mean, just some of the music was driving me bonkers. And I said, can I just get some hymns? Can I just get some hymnals, like with some rock to it? Then all of a sudden on Instagram, Jamal Bryant's Instagram, the choir was marching in singing, "We've come this far by faith." I was like, that's the kind of church I want. I want to go back there so bad. We jumped over to someplace else. And I'm like, those songs, I don't know if they saving people or helping people when they're going through. Those hymns come back when you're just thinking about things, great is thy faithfulness, near the cross, oh, the blood, just, come thy fount. All of those songs come back. It's like those songs get you through. These other songs, I'm like, what? It's like I was listening to Victory, I think it's by Ty Tribbett or some, I don't know his username.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And I was like, that doesn't do anything for me. It gives you a little bump, to dance or to move your head a little bit, but the songs to take root to get you through, that's what's needed today. Shirley says, can I get some call and response? That's what I'm talking about. No more tambourines player. Deborah says, yes, nothing like those church hymns. Folks don't shout anymore. I watched now we're getting way off, but listen, I watched an Instagram reel yesterday, and this pastor And I was like, what? And it looked as if he threw a weighted blanket on somebody and she went back. I said, no, see, now we playing. So I went through the thread to see what people were saying. They were all saying it was a weighted blanket. But now the pastors come out and said it was just a blanket. And I'm like, I don't know what it was, but she was hurting. And I'm like, we don't need to do this. Can we just pray for people? Can we access the power that we already have? Y'all, I've been asking questions lately. Where I'm praying and I'll stop and I'll say, why am I asking for God's anointed? I already have his anointing. So why am I asking for it again? And it's like we have to ask ourselves, why are we saying no, access what we already have? Tracy Newmy said she saw that girl that weighted blanket. I said, she hurt. So, of course the thread went straight hilarious, like she no longer needs prayer, she needs to go check on her concussion, she needs a CAT scan. I was like, this is really happening. So go ahead, Isaiah.
Nah, I'm just hearing all this. If she has a concussion from a weighted blanket, like I didn't even know about this. So this is what y'all get off of News and Motion. Y'all
Yeah,
get stuff that
just
you never heard of. But
yeah.
I hear you. I hear what you mean when you talk about the church hymns, and my parents have told me this. Like it's cool to listen to Lecrae and Anthony Minio, but some hymns gonna get you through the rough times. So that's why I got a church hype playlist and a church reflection playlist. So that way you get a mix of both.
Yeah, it's so much going on. Yeah, everyone, Dr. Antoinette saying she did a search on Facebook. I believe it has to do with tired of the sexy church. Someone else is that the same post, Dr. Antoinette, where they talked about turn the lights back on? Like they're saying they're tired of dark church. They want the lights to come back on. Because I've been in some places that have been extremely dark, and it's like turn the lights back on. Let's see what else everyone else is saying.
Rosie Lee
Donita
said prayers.
says that old school choir marching in to we come this far by faith. Yep. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Isaiah.
Rosie Lee said prayer doesn't need props.
That's a good one. That's
Uh,
true. That's
yeah.
true. Um, yeah. So y'all jumped in on that. Y'all was feeling that church stuff. I see you. I see you. All right, y'all. We're gonna let y'all go on about y'all's day. And since we're coming back tomorrow, we may have some mimosas or something tomorrow. I don't know. Isaiah may have his red cup. I don't know. We're gonna figure something out. So
Yeah,
we're gonna do what we do. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone, and remember, make some bold moves. We're out.